Hi everyone, today we are going to be doing investigation 4.2, observing the acceleration of a car. So what I have here today is I have a pulley set up. I have my car with the string attached to it at the end. I have a paper clip and I'm starting with 3 washers. So I already have my washers on there. I have 4 large washers currently holding my car down. And I have in total 25 small washers, which you can't see on the camera, but they are here. I also have some tape marks, which are about 7.5 meters distance apart from each other, and that's what I'm going to be using when I'm timing and measuring my lab today. So the goal of the lab is to find a mass, different masses, and change the amount of force at the end of the pulley to kind of all match the same speed between the different masses. This will make a little bit more sense as I walk through the actual lab. But to start with the lab, and this is what I'm going to be using this data to work through my trials today, is I have to start with 3 small washers at the end of my paper clip. And I have my car with no mass in it. There's no washers or anything. And I want to do 3 trials and find the average time of the pulley with no mass added onto it. So I will get started on this data, and you can follow along with that. So I'm going to quick remove these washers. And when I let go, I'm going to time from this tape mark to this tape mark, and I'll stop my timer. So my first trial, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then my first time is 1.76 seconds, and I'm going to be writing these down as we do this so that I have time, or I have data to find my average time. So 1.76 for trial 1, trial 2, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and that was 1.63 seconds. And trial 3, 3, 2, 1. So my car is going a little bit sideways, but that's okay. And that one was 1.85 seconds. So now what I want to do is find the average time, because the average time of those 3 will be my target time for the rest of the trials I do. So I'm going to add those up on my calculator to find the average, and then divide by 3. So I got 5.25 divided by 3, 1.75 is my average time. So that is my target time for the next 4 scenarios that I want to have as my target. So now that I did this trial, the goal is to start with 1 washer. I'm adding some mass to it. And I want to see how many washers I need to add on to this to get a time approximately close to the average time of 1.75. So you're going to have to do a little bit of playing around with this one for a second, trying out different amounts of washers to find something that might be similar. So I added my 1 large washer to the car, adding mass to that. And since I have 3 washers on here and I only added a little bit of mass, I'm just going to start with 4 washers and see what my average time is there. So I'm going to remove this, get ready to time this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so that was only about 2 seconds, so a little too slow. I want to get it closer to that 1.75. So I am going to add another washer, and I'll have 5 small washers now on this clip, and we'll see how that works. So 3, 2, 1. Whoops. Okay, and for that one I had 1.68, which is fairly close to my 1.75. So I'm going to write that down. I think that 5 small washers is going to be what I'm using here. So 1.68, and I'm going to do 2 more trials on that just to be sure. So here's my second trial, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and that one I had 1.73, so fairly close to 1.75. All right, and then trial 3. So it's looking like 5 washers might be it for this one. 3, 2, 1. and that was 1.89. So it was a little bit high. You could try it again and just see if you get a different number. I'm going to leave it at this. And now I'm going to find my average time for 5 small washers on the pulley, one large washer on the car. So add those 3 up. So got 5.3 is my average. I divide that by 3, and that gives me 1.72. I'll write that down. So my average time for 1 large washer in the car, 5 small washers on the pulley, the average time was pretty close. All right. Now, same thing. This time I'm adding 2 washers to the car. And I'm going to think for a second. If I went from 3 washers with no added mass, and then I added 2 small washers, I'm thinking I'm going to start by adding 2 small washers and see how that gets me with time. So right now, with 2 large washers in the car, I'm going to have 7 small washers on my pulley. And we'll see where that gets us. Just doing some quick mental math and seeing if it works. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. All right, and that was pretty close, 1.70. So I'm going to keep trying my other trials with 7 washers on the end. Trial 2, here we go. That was about 1.78. And trial 3, here we go. All right, that was about 1.80, little high, but I'll take it. So 1.80. Now I gotta find the average again. I add those 3 up. That was the average 5.28. Now I got to divide that by 3, and that gives me the average time of 1.76. So very, very close to the 1.75 that my trials are going for. Okay, so now I'm thinking that I got to add a 3rd washer, and I think I want to add 10 here, 10 small washers. So right now I'm at 7. I'm going to add 3 to it. And we're going to see how far 10 washers gets us. All right, so I got to reset my timer. Let's do a trial, and here we go. Okay, that one was actually pretty fast. It was more of around 1.5 seconds. So I actually might have too much force coming from my small washer. So I'm going to take one away, and I'm going to try 9. So here I have 9 small washers. All right, 3, 2, 1. All right, that was closer. That was 1.87. It was a little high, but I'm going to leave it. And then I'm going to do trial 2 here. I got to write that down. 1.87. All right, next one. Here we go. Okay, that was 1.71, so we're a little bit closer there. I'll write that down. And trial 3. Here we go. All right, that was 1.89, so a little high, but I think that when I'm using 9 washers versus 10, my numbers are going to be closer there versus with the 10 washers. Okay, so I'm going to add those 3 together. That gives me 5.42. And if I divide that by 3, my average time is 1.80. So a little high, but that's okay. All right. Now, final round is 4 washers in the car. I'm trying to brainstorm here. 10 was too fast with 3. 9 was a little high, but okay, I'm just going to do 11 and see what I get. Okay. So I have 11 small washers. Let's try it. And that was 1.58. I want to go for maybe a little bit quicker than 1.58. So I'm going to add one more washer. Now we're at 12 small washers. All right, I'll try this trial. Here we go. That was 1.65, a little bit higher. Still not super close, but closer than when I only had 11. So I'm going to do 1.65, and I'm going to keep it at 12 washers. And here is my next trial. All right, that was 1.67. Getting closer, and trial 3. And that was 1.72. So 1.72. So that one was the closest out of the 3 for this round. And I'm going to add those up. That gives me 5.04. I got to divide that by 3, and that leaves me with 1.68 as my average time. So we did some trial and error here. We found what force matched best with the amount of mass that we were adding, and I think it went pretty well. And when you're done with filling out the data table, you'll do your graphing and you'll do your summary. You'll be finished with this lab. Have a good day.